I told you guys I was gonna do something special for you guys on Friday for everybody that's been following me. So here it is. I got my boy Tim Dog with me. If you've been living under a rock, never been on Twitter, you don't know who he is. So get yourself a Twitter account, follow Tim Dog. So what's up, Tim?
What's going on, my man?
Chilling,
Thanks for
man.
having me. I'm
No
proud. I'm
problem.
happy
No
that you
problem.
got the show going.
Yeah. So everybody didn't know we had some technical difficulties behind the scenes, but we got everything worked out. We're gonna go over a few things here today. I just appreciate you coming on for the most part, Tim. I know you're a busy man, so taking time out of your day to come on my little channel, my little
Nah,
channel I have here.
little now,
And,
big in the future.
that's what everybody's been telling me. So hopefully that'll work out, man. So I just got a few things lined up I want to talk about. I don't want to take up too much of your time. So the first thing I want to really ask you though, Tim, is what's your earliest memories of gaming? Like for you as a kid, like when you first got into gaming, what's your earliest memories?
I remember being I remember one distinctive um experience. I think I was like 4 years old, maybe 5 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. It was ColecoVision. I remember ColecoVision. My cousin had it, and I just remember seeing it, and I was completely, I was completely, trance. I totally wanted to know what it was about. But
Mm-hmm.
my father was like, he hated video games. He hated it. His whole life. He just used to always like call me a loser and say he never understood it. He said, he was the
Uh-huh.
type of guy that would say, you don't play video games. Go outside and go play stickball with your friends, or that's weird. This type of stuff. But I remember being there and seeing that game, which was like I think it was 1982. I was
Oh
6 years
wow.
old, and then my first console. I had played it, but I was very drawn to it, but I wasn't really allowed to play it. I remember my dad was like, "No, you can't do it." But I remember when I really started to get into it was Atari 2600.
Oh man.
I think my mom bought me Atari 2600,
Okay.
and I played ET. I actually remember playing ET, thinking it was great. Um, and then it just then it just grew from there. Basically, I remember I'm 39 years old, so
Uh,
you think about it, I remember even my cousin seeing Nintendo, and he had Nintendo. He got the Nintendo, and he's playing Mario,
nice.
and I just couldn't believe how cool it was. But I was always a Sega guy, but I
Nice.
remember we were playing it at my grandmother's house, and yeah, I've always taken to video games, and like I said, I had a lot of resistance. I always played sports. I played baseball and I played football, and I was an athlete. I was always involved in stuff like that. But I always loved video games from the day I saw it. With the
Nice.
technology, and here I am now.
Yeah, I see you, Mr. Big Stuff, hanging out with Phil Spencer and Aaron Greenberg, taking pictures. Man,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Good
yeah. Same,
guys.
same here, man. I got into it not as early as you did. I'm not as I don't want to say old, but I'm not as uh, up
I'm
there as you
old. I'm
are
getting
in
old.
age.
Whatever it is, what it is, man.
But I remember getting a Nintendo. Me and my brother actually having to share it. I remember us fighting over who actually was going to get to play Super Mario, Mario Brothers first. I don't know if you remember, but it was back when you get the Duck Hunt with the Super Mario.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was on the same cartridge.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Yes. I
Yeah,
think, yeah.
and we had and my mom. We actually had to beg her to buy us a little gun to go with
Yeah.
it, and yeah, it was great, man. So that's when I got my first start. My cousin actually had a ColecoVision, but I had no idea how the hell to work that thing. He used to like bust it out. And I'm like, what does this little knob and these little buttons do? So I had no idea. He used to play it, and I'd be like, I'm not interested in that until that Nintendo came out. Then I was hooked. Um, so
Right.
great, man. Great early memories there, man. So I want to run something else by you. So what is your favorite franchise or game? I know you said you originally were a Sega guy. I was too. Eventually, once I moved on from just Nintendo, I moved on to Sega right after that. So what was your favorite franchise or game growing up?
Growing up, growing up, my favorite franchise would be uh, Shinobi, if you
Oh,
remember that. I
yeah,
love Shinobi. That was my game. I would play it all the time. I used to fight with, because see, my cousin, you know, I talk about like fanboys and stuff like that. My cousin was a big Nintendo guy, and I was, the Sega guy, and we used to argue. And Shinobi was like that was my best. I love that. A Ninja Gaiden too a little later, but uh, I would say Shinobi was kind of, my real first big franchise love.
nice. I don't know if you've seen, but Aaron tweeted out, said, how does he chat with us? We need to get Aaron in here, man. Let's get Aaron in here, man.
I guess we got to send him the thing.
Let's send him, man. Let's send him the link, man. Let's get him in here. Don't worry,
Yeah,
Aaron.
let me see.
He's on the way. Yeah.
Let me see. I'll send it to him. Let me
Okay,
see.
go ahead and send it to him. Yeah.
Let me see.
Get Aaron in here. That would be epic, man. Jeez.
now the freaking it's
floodgate.
on.
The floodgates have opened. Yeah.
All right, let me see something.
I think I should go play the lotto after we get done with it.
Oh shit, we gotta get this guy on.
We gotta get Aaron in here. Yeah. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a second. Yeah. Trying to get Mr. Greenberg in here.
All right, 1 second.
Okay, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to get Mr. Aaron Greenberg himself in here.
All right, 1 second.
No problem.
I'm gonna DM him this.
Yes, sir.
He might not have an account, knowing him.
Yeah,
we'll try knowing our luck, he might not have an account.
Yeah, hey, you never know. He did tweet out, said, how did he get in there? He may not be busy today. I'm actually surprised he put that out there. Wow.
Come in. Sorry for the pause in the show.
Sorry for the pause, everybody. We do apologize, but
he's definitely listening to us.
Yeah, he's definitely listening. Yeah. Come on in, Aaron. I do not mind, sir. Let's see.
I sent him the thing. I think it's so. Yeah, let me just make sure. Okay, got it. Yeah, it's sent to him. That's the correct link. He might, knowing Aaron, he doesn't probably have an account.
Yeah,
he doesn't. I know probably he doesn't.
Yeah,
but appreciate the.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
That's fantastic. Yeah. That's fantastic. If you guys didn't know who Aaron Greenberg was, get out from under that rock. Big guy over there at Xbox. So he just tweeted out that, he wanted to come and hang with us. So no problem, Aaron. If you ever want to come in, man, I'll send the wife and kids out the house. Do whatever you need. No problem, man. So yeah, you said Shinobi, right, Tim? Shinobi was the big franchise.
That was what I remember. I remember playing that as a kid. I remember playing that and just loving it. And I remember fighting with my he was a big Mario guy and all that type of stuff. So
I actually got in a brawl one day in elementary over Sonic and Mario. I was a Sega guy, man.
That was you know what, that bringing back, I love Shinobi, but that was Sonic was the guy. That was the rivalry. Sonic versus Mario. It really was.
Yeah, and I had a buddy named Kevin, man, and we got in an argument right there in the sand, man. I'm like, Sonic, he's like, Mario. I'm like, you know what, forget you, man. We ain't friends no more. And we kind of went at it with each other, man. We actually got in a little bit of a tussle. It was kind of crazy. But those are good memories, man. That's back when gaming was just, it was so pure. You didn't have all this nonsense, the side stuff going on with the media, journalism, everything like that. It was just, you jumped on, you played your game, people come over to your house, and all your friends spend the night on the weekend. You guys just sit in front of that one little TV, and everybody get a turn to play. That's when it was pure, man. So that's great. Shinobi was a great game too, by the way. So I remember my favorite game being Alter Beast. I don't know if you remember Alter Beast. Yeah. Yes. That was my favorite game. I loved that game to death. Me and my brother used to stay up 2, 3 in the morning. Mom had to kick us off the TV to play that game. So I mean, it was fantastic, man. It was a great game. So next up, I want to kind of address some things that I've already brought up in some of my videos. I know Tim has his own opinions on those. He's always active in the community, so I know he's already pretty much touched on some of these topics. So first thing I want to talk about is been big on my channel for the first few videos is gaming journalism. So I kind of want to ask you about that, Tim. How do you feel the state of gaming journalism currently right now? What do you feel about that?
Well, as you know, I've talked about this a lot. I think gaming journalism right now is it's pretty bad. Oh, by the way, he never used it, so Aaron,
Oh, it's okay.
so
It's
he's
all
not
right.
going to be doing it. He
Yeah,
just
it's all right.
texted me.
No problem.
No. My opinion is that it's a real rough time. I think it's actually gotten a little bit better, but you do have these click-based type stuff. A lot of negativity swirling, or trying to put Xbox down. Obviously, Xbox.
Oh, there he goes.
He's here.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Wow.
I apologize. You've caused me to figure out how to activate a Google account. I don't think I've used it in 8 years.
Wow, guys. Looks like Aaron Greenberg crashed the party. Wow.
I did.
Okay.
I officially crashed the party. So.
Oh, wow.
Thank you for coming on.
Cool. Thank you for coming on, Aaron. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it, man. This is. I told Tim, if you get in here, I'm gonna go play the lottery right after this. I'm gonna buy a ticket right now, like as soon as we get done with this.
I was listening to you guys talking about Shinobi and all the old school Sega and Nintendo games. So.
Yeah, definitely. So I kind of want to piggyback and ask you those same questions, by the way, Mr. Greenberg, if you don't mind. What's your earliest fondest memory of gaming, by the way?
For me, it was the Atari 2600. That was like my first console. And from there, played all the kind of classic, Atari games way back in the day. And then from there, NES, Super Nintendo, and I didn't, believe it or not just because I work at I didn't get like a PS1 right at launch.
Neither did I.
And
neither did I. Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of a gap, and then I was there day one for Dreamcast.
Nice.
I was a late adopter on PS2 and all that, but yeah. But I mean, I played a lot of games, but like your Shinobi. I used to play this game I loved called Aerobiz, if you remember that.
It was. I don't remember that game either.
Yeah, it was an airplane and airport simulator for the Super Nintendo, and you would basically manage like an airport, and you'd have to figure out your routes, and it was like a true simulator, but it was made by Koei, I think. And
nice, okay.
Yeah, and it was awesome. Of course, I played all the more popular Mario titles and all that, and everything. But yeah, definitely been playing through the generations, and then of course my dream was helping to launch the original Xbox and from there history.
That is fantastic, man. That is fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much like I said, like you said, I was kind of a late adopter with the PS1. I didn't really get one. First of all, just being in the area I was from, my mom didn't have a lot of money, so it was a little bit expensive at the time. I begged her. I swear to God, I begged her for like 3 Christmases for one until I was able to actually ask my dad to get me one. He finally was able to get me one. But yeah, I didn't get the PS1 until a little bit late. People had it quite a while after I was able to get mine. Another question, Mr. Greenberg, if you don't mind.
Yeah, hold on. Before you do that, let me tell you that Chris Munson has just joined, and Money Rumble is his Twitter handle. Chris is one of our lead product marketers. Works on franchises like State of Decay, and also all of our FanFest activities.
Wow.
And the fact is that he used to do product marketing at Sony before he came over to the Team Xbox.
Wow.
I have a long and storied history across many platform companies.
So, Chris, tell us your gaming. Like, where did you start? What were your old school franchises?
Oh gosh, well, it first started. Tim Doc, you reminded me when you were saying when you were trying to get a PS1 a long time ago, and you kept asking. For me, it was in television.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
That was my first console because I
That was like Pong days, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I had friends who owned the original Atari, and I thought, this is so cool, but just couldn't get it. So when we moved back to the States, I saw the ads for the television and went, oh, I need to have it. So finally my parents acquiesced. And B-17 Bomber, I don't know if you guys remember, that was my favorite game for so long. I just wore out all the numbers on that weird pad that the television had. It was awesome. I mean,
That's
just
cool.
the language.
It is interesting how people kind of have like some obscure game that they got hooked on. Like it was almost like our introduction, whatever it was, and some of it I think was somewhat random of our introduction to like interactive entertainment, you know.
Yeah.
And like it wasn't always about like today everyone just plays like Halo and Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, yeah.
But like
that's
then
true.
you had that thing. I had this Aerobiz thing. Shinobi's a decent sized title, but like you know, but it's just interesting that like what we all kind of went in with.
Yeah, definitely.
That's just by chance.
Oh, it is. And I mean, we only because I grew up overseas. Between that and television thing, then I moved to Japan, and this was during the Roaring '80s. So not only was I playing some of the Japanese, I think it was the Super NES or Famicom. I can't recall.
Super Famicom. That's what they call it.
I think it was the
Famicom,
cream colored with the red controllers attached to it.
Okay.
I always forget that one. But
There was Famicom and Super Famicom.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we played all the games in Japanese.
Oh wow!
So there was no translations back there. So, and there was a disc. I don't know if you remember the attach. It was in an accessory where you actually had a mini disc, which you put in, and we played a wrestling game, which was a Japanese wrestling game, which was awesome.
Fire Pro Wrestling?
God, I can't recall what it was.
Okay.
I have to go back to local.
I know a lot of obscure Japanese
There is
names.
Yeah, no, I can see.
There's a local retro gaming a store here now, which I just go through. Oh
Yeah.
my God, there's so many cool.
I
things.
modded my Dreamcast so I could play the Japanese titles on it.
Oh,
wow!
Right? Because there was like all these like great Japanese games.
Yeah.
And it was really easy. You just had to put like a piece of tape over something.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was really you just had to put a piece of tape over it. And yeah, I would play all the Japanese games because there's a lot of really
Nice.
fun Japanese games.
Oh, and back
Right.
then it was the arcades that had the really
Yeah,
good
Totally.
games.
And a lot of them are like music games too, like Samba de
Friday.
Amigo and all that.
Yeah.
Friday
Space
and-
Channel and
Yeah, so Friday nights, Saturday nights,
Yeah.
my friends would head down to Shibuya or Shinjuku, and we go to these underground. Literally, they were underground. Not like you couldn't get in, but underground video games. Like all the greatest things games were being played on these great new machines, and sort of like, oh, I can't wait for this stuff to get to the home one day. This would be awesome to play this at home. Ironic
Yeah.
where we are today, but I'd play
crazy.
like
Enough of us,
baseball
enough of
games,
us.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. No problem. No problem. You guys can talk all day. I'll sit there and listen. I don't care. Yeah.
got another question. We don't want to dominate.
Yeah. All right. No problem. No problem, you guys. So, Mr. Greenberg, now that you're here, you and what's your name again? I'm sorry.
Chris
man. I do
Benson?
apologize.
Chris,
yes.
Chris Money.
Chris. Oh, Chris Money Munson. Okay. All right. No problem. So, if you guys had to say one thing that you guys are the most proud about the Xbox brand, what would that be? All three of you guys. It's kind of a question for you, Tim, and Chris.
This is what I'm most appreciative. This is what I like, the interaction. I mean, this is unprecedented. This guy's just like a normal guy coming on the show like, everyday people. And, my experience with Microsoft has been that from, when I met Aaron in New York. I mean, they just treat you like people. There's no, I'm an executive, you're just a fan. It's just, they're on the same level as you, and they want to have your interaction. They want to know what what you feel and what you want. I've always been a Microsoft fan. They've always been, they always
Same here.
they always shot for the skies. They want to make they're all about big and going.
Going forward innovation.
Going forward with innovation, and they're really pretty much the only ones that do that, in my opinion. I mean, they're really try to push the envelope. And as somebody who grew up with gaming, I love that about them. They always seem to just be pushing the envelope, and it never stops. They just keep working.
Yeah. Same question to you, Aaron.
Well, I mean, for me, it's definitely the community and the fans. I mean, I think like that was really what I think made Xbox Live and the original Xbox and what we built kind of anchored around Halo 2 and Mech Assault and all those early games was we allowed people to build friendships and communities, from living room to living room and expand that around the world. And for me, like that's what I think we have the best community. I think we have the best fans in the world, and the engagement, the passion that people have, the fact that you guys are here, doing a podcast, that people are streaming on Twitch, that people are showing up to our events and sleeping out overnight to get me. Just very few products and brands and communities have that level of passion, and so to get to work with people like that and get to engage communities like that is just like a massive honor, and it's fuel in our tank for us. I mean, we all work really hard. We work 7 days a week. We work long hours. It's nonstop. The video game industry never stops and never rests. But for us to see the reaction and the fact that we have this amazing community of fans is definitely the biggest highlight for me.
All right. What about you, Sean?
Chris.
Chris. Sorry, Chris. Sorry
Just call him money. Yeah, money.
Chris, money. Just money. Yeah, money. Sorry about that. Money. Money. There we go.
I think there's two things. One is the legacy of the brand. I jumped straight from Dreamcast to Xbox because I was bought in from day one what the Xbox stood for.
So did I.
And now for me to actually, when I was then a fan,
hold on. Were you working at Sony at the time?
No, when the original one? 2000.
You worked
I
on.
think it was at Atari.
Okay, you were on PS3 stuff.
Mid PS3 time.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you.
No, okay. I think the legacy was something like, man, what a cool product, what a cool box, some of the games, the advertising, and now the fact that I'm actually working here years later, it's said often and sometimes can be, are they really telling the truth about how cool it is to work at a place you loved? But it really is. And I think for me, that's the second point. It's an honor to be able to work at a place that allows me to fulfill my passions every day. And it's not. I've worked in the industry a long time. I've worked at many different companies, and this is the place I'm most satisfied. So that's the coolest part for me.
That says a lot, especially like you said, you're working at a ton of different places, over the years, different developers, different companies, and the fact that you found a home in Xbox says a lot. So kudos to you guys. I mean, that's great. So now I have another question. This may be a little toughy for you, Aaron and Sean. What is there a game or there a franchise that we had earlier on?
Money.
Yeah. I called him Sean.
It's money. It's not Sean. It's you guys, but okay. It's all right. You know what? That's what we'll do to make it easier. Change your name to Sean.
Hey, Sean.
We're just gonna.
Sean Money. Sean Money.
Sean Money. Yep.
Okay. So just money. I keep throwing
that.
This
is a tough question.
I'm crazy too. I can't believe Aaron's
all
here.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Yes. Okay. All right. So, is there a franchise along the way that Microsoft had originally, or Xbox had originally, that may have kind of fell off? Maybe you guys, for whatever reason, weren't able to continue the series or just make a sequel to the game that you kind of hold dear and near to you that maybe one day, we'll revisit that. Is there any game in particular or franchise?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, to be honest, I think that. I think there's a couple things. So I think first is part of that is the beauty of Back Compat is that we're going to be able to allow people to play a lot of their favorite franchises because for so many people it's different. We just all talked about like the games we grew up playing and we all had different games that we love and especially as you go back in time, like different people joined at different points, and so the more that we can enable you to play the games that you bought, you owned, that you loved, or go experience those games, I think the better. We've remade some titles like Killer Instinct as an example. What we did with Rare Replay is another great example. And then Gears and the Gears Ultimate Edition. And so, but personally, I mentioned Mech Assault. Like that was a pretty fun.
Oh, come on.
Oh my goodness! Don't do that.
That's what we love.
Yeah.
Did I hit a nerve there? So is that?
Oh my goodness.
Mech Assault with Cloud is pretty much.
Oh my
dream.
goodness.
Now,
2019.
I just want to be really clear. Like I'm just talking to you as a fan. So
I know.
Don't
worry. Yeah, we're not.
I know how the gaming internet works. This is just.
Oh yeah.
No,
don't worry. We're very clear. We're very clear.
Or something here, but you know.
There is no announcement of Mech Assault.
I mean, I'm sure I don't, even know the legal IP rights, and there's no team. But just as a fan that grew up playing those games, I think that would be the one if I had to answer you.
I'm with you. I'm with you. That's the same one. I remember playing that game all the time. And with the technology that you guys are pushing forward with Crackdown, I mean that's just I had S4.
Oh my goodness.
That is just a type of game that you could do a lot because
oh my goodness.
I mean Crackdown 3 for me right now is the biggest game. I mean Halo 5 is huge. I want to say Halo 5 is the biggest, but right now after that to me Crackdown 3 is the biggest game going for Xbox because of what is being pushed forward with that, and a game like Mech Assault could be.
Oh my goodness!
I mean, I am blown away by Crackdown 3.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on the Crackdown. I mean, when Dave Jones showed us that demo using the cloud, I mean, what they're doing, it was a moment that I truly believe, like, we'll go back in time over years and go, remember the first team that did it, the first, like, that was a turning point, I think, in changing the way games are made. I think, really unlocking all types of possibilities about leveraging the cloud and game development, and to see them as they're destructing more of the world, basically another Xbox, cloud-powered Xbox comes online, and the fact they just keep stacking them up.
Oh my goodness,
power
that's
of
crazy.
that is just unbelievable, and so. And it makes sense for what they're doing and make this real-time destructible environments and using the power of, Azure and the Microsoft Cloud. It's just unbelievable. And so my jaw dropped. I was blown away. And it takes vision. It takes a visionary developer to go do that.
Definitely.
Limits and break through and figure out how to do that and solve all the hard problems. But then you're right. Like now, eventually, then other developers can take advantage of that, and we'll see what they do with that. But I'm very much encouraged by Crackdown 3, and I think it looks like it's going to be just a fantastic game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what was funny, I thought, was with Crackdown 3 is when they showed it, they showed it at E3, they showed, how you guys were working on it in studio. Then the next day, Dave Jones showed it on, and it just seemed like, people started to really start to notice, but it was like the fourth day after Crackdown 3, was shown, and people just realized, like, wow, they're onto something, because you could level the whole entire city and still be fighting people on rubble. I mean, we're talking about B-17 games. Now you're up to that level. That is the next, to me, in my personal opinion, that's the next logical step in traditional gaming, as we know it. And I can't wait to, E3 2016. I'm sure we're going to be seeing some of that. So I am completely on cloud 9 with that. So thank you for putting forth that technology.
That's fantastic. So I kind of want to ask Mr. Money over there. I want to ask him the same question about, is there a franchise in particular that he'd love to see maybe rebooted, or just kind of you hold near and dear to you that you'd love to see again?
Yeah, well, it's funny. It's actually a much smaller game. It's I always loved Voodoo Vince on the original Xbox.
Yeah.
I loved it because it was a game. One, it was completely literally turned your experience on its head. You hurt yourself in order to hurt the others around you because you're the voodoo doll. But I also thought the atmosphere was awesome. There's Louisiana, New Orleans, the music, the art design. I just saw everything was just awesome about that game. So that's always been near and dear to my heart. So if there was another Voodoo Vince, I'd be first in line before any of you guys to go get that one, just simply because I just thought everything was so cool and funny about it. It was had a wry sense of humor.
Yeah, that's a Phil Spencer favorite too.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, Phil has said that. He said that numerous times.
He tells the story
with the
with our
sisters.
team. I don't know if he's told the story publicly. He told the story with our team where he played that game with his daughters, with his two
Yes.
daughters,
Mhm.
and that was like his first game he ever played with them.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
they kind
wow.
of solve all the puzzles and everything, and so it was pretty special for him.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so I kind of want to ask you guys another question, all three of you guys. So moving forward, we kind of know what's already coming out for the Xbox One for the most part. I mean, obviously, you guys know far more than we do, and I know there's only so much information you can divulge, obviously. But going forward here, since we were talking about technology like the cloud, we're talking about, just pushing innovation. Is there something, I don't want to say explicitly, down the pipeline that may be coming, but I know for the most part, we have a lot of different things coming. And is there a feature or maybe a game that you're super excited for in particular?
Yeah, well, I mean, our team kind of got the honor to lead a lot of our strategy and planning for E3 and Gamescom this year. So we quote unquote like exec produced the show, if you will. And
Okay.
I did that many years ago on E3 before. I've done a bunch of different roles on the team. It was kind of the first year that kind of took driving the shows back after a number of years of not being engaged as much. And so we really built E3 and Gamescom as like one story across two beats. And I think it's kind of a long way to answer your question, but we really wanted to show the fact that we believe we have the greatest games lineup in Xbox history. We're delivering on tons of great exclusive content and a lot of great blockbuster games this holiday, and then come back at Gamescom and show you that, in fact, that greatest games lineup extends into 2016 as well. We have a bright, bright future ahead. And I think it all really ties back to what Phil Spencer spoke about around the launch of the Xbox, is that we invested in building more games and in more internal game development than ever in the history of our business. And at a time where a lot of people aren't making big investments, we doubled down on internal development. And so that's why you're seeing so many titles like Halo 5 coming this year, and Rare Replay, and Gears Ultimate Edition, and Forza, and Fable, and all the great games, Gigantic and Tomb Raider, which we're doing with publishing partners, and then into 2016, Quantum Break and Crackdown and Record and Killer Instinct, and so like
Jesus Christ.
Halo Wars 2. So
man,
we believe that if you make the great games, that people will buy the system, and that will drive adoption and engagement. And so we're just going to way over deliver on games. That has been our strategy, and it feels like we're doing that, and we're making our dates, and we're shipping games at quality. And so those are really key things as well. That's been our focus. We haven't hidden a lot from you, I think, of what's coming in the next 12 months. And of course, we'll come back at E3 again next year and share more. But we're going to just nonstop continue to evolve the platform and make it better and deliver great blockbuster games and exclusives for our fans. We're committed to that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So what about you, Mr. Money? Anything down the line you looking forward to?
Well, yeah, finding time to play all these games. I do have vacation time.
Yeah, you better go ahead and put that in right now, because you're gonna be.
Yeah, exactly. It may not be actual vacation. It may be that I'm not going anywhere. I just have to stay home and start playing these.
Yeah.
I was an early Gears of War fan when that first came out. I remember showing up at E3, and then I think it was the XO that followed later that year, and I was sold.
XO5.
XO5, and I was sold on just
worked on that.
The Gears and the franchise. So for me, the Ultimate Edition, I got to start playing that immediately.
Nice.
A lot of the open world games too. I love all the creativity that's happening across third party. Just where all these games are going, from The Witcher to what Just Cause 3 is to all these other games. I mean, there's just so much vitality now on the console side that it's a good time to be a gamer in the gaming industry, because now we're all hitting our stride of what next generation really is, and that's gonna be awesome.
Definitely, definitely. I think there are a lot of things going on right now this generation that we definitely. I didn't see a lot of this coming. Actually, I mean, a lot of it's just kind of blowing my mind at this point. Especially coming from, like you said, I was kind of an early adopter. I had a Nintendo, and from there, I mean, you could never envision, this kind of us moving this fast and technology moving us in this direction with games. So you did bring up gear, so that kind of great segue into another question that I had. Now, my buddy wanted me to ask you this question, particularly Aaron. Wanted me to ask you this question. Now, as you know, I'm pretty sure Cliffy B has a new game coming out, and I'm pretty sure you've seen that. Lawbreakers coming out pretty soon. I think it's a PC game. Not sure if it's still free to play or not. Don't know. And I know somebody tweeted out earlier to Phil about that coming to Xbox One possibly, and Phil said, Cliffy B is always, welcome to come to Xbox. So how do you feel about the game he has making? Have you seen the trailer or seen the gameplay from it yet?
I have not. I know that it was announced this week, and it was on my list of things to catch up on this weekend. I was out, and so this is my first week back after basically 3 weeks being out of the office. So and some time off. So I've heard the response was great. I saw the tweet from Phil, but beyond that, Cliffy B's a longtime friend. He's been a great partner. Always had a great time working with him. I worked with him on the Gears 2 announce and over the years on a lot of different stuff around Gears, and so Gears 3 as well. And so I'm excited for him, and he's always been a great friend and a friend of the family, if you will, on the Xbox team. And so I'm sure what he's doing is great, and I look forward to catching up on it this weekend.
Nice. All right. Well,
I don't know, Chris, on your side. And then I will just flag, unfortunately, that I have to actually leave.
Okay. No problem.
So I know this was an unscheduled. We just
Appreciate it, Aaron.
Appreciate you showing up, Aaron.
Of course.
Mr. Moneybags.
Chris answer if he has any thought. Chris, by the way, stays very up on games and pop culture and movie culture, and so I'm sure he has seen Lawbreakers.
Yes, so I watched the launch trailer. In fact, I watched Cliffy's teases this week, and then I just watched there's a new actual gameplay trailer. So looks like I think it's very much a Cliffy B shooter. But beyond that, I'm just like any fan. I'm just interested to see what he's got in store for us all. I like the idea of gravity or lack of gravity playing into it. Gravity is always a really interesting component or mechanism to work with on a game platform. So it'd be cool to see as he starts to roll out what all it includes.
Nice. Okay. All right. Great. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it also too. I didn't really know what to expect, to be honest. When he first tweeted out that he was actually making a new game, but seeing the trailer, I mean, the gravity, the use of the it was like a I don't know, it's kind of like a magnetic, just like a rope, you know what I mean, that you're jumping around and the rope shoots out, you kind of swing and you can shoot behind the back, all kind of crazy grapples. It looked insane, and I'm pretty excited for it also too. So that's great. It's fantastic. I mean, oh man, this is
wow.
Been a very humbling experience.
Thank you. These guys are the best. Like I said, I didn't even. I just tweeted Aaron, and this is the type of guy he is. He just came in, took his time out. I see how hard he works, and I see the hours that he works. I saw that firsthand at E3, and it's not an easy job what he does. His time is accounted for every minute. So I really, really appreciate the
same here,
on, and as well as Money.
Money, both of you guys, man, we appreciate it quite a bit, man. This is, I never would even.
Our privilege.
Yeah, no, thank you guys. We don't mind.
No problem, man.
When we have such a great community, and thanks for letting us crash the party. And
oh, by the way, I noticed somebody posted a picture of B-17 bomber. Send that to me.
I will.
Yeah, he did.
I got it.
At Money Rumble, just send it to me because I haven't seen pictures of B-17 bomber in a long time.
All right, I'll get it to you, my friend.
You guys have a good night. Have a good weekend, and we'll catch up with you again later soon.
Let's go Xbox.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Take it easy, Aaron.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, you there, Tim?
Yeah, that's
My goodness, that is crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Aaron Greenberg just crashed the party That was very unexpected. So sorry if I stuttered over my words there.
I
That
couldn't
was a
talk
little
either. Me and you were like,
yeah, I'm like,
going well. Like I'm
yeah,
like,
I'm like Sean, Chris, Mr. Money. Oh my goodness, guys. I mean, but that's why Xbox is the best box, because you have things that happen like that. I mean, this guy, like he said, his time is accounted for, like Tim said, and he just shows up and chimes in. I mean, I'm not a huge YouTuber. I don't have a gigantic following, but I mean, the fact that he took the time out to just come and say hi and answer a few questions he didn't have to. That's insane. That's insane, Tim.
yeah, and I'm happy for you that he's Aaron is really he's is this guy Money? I gotta send him this picture, but he's really he's genuine like that. You know what I mean? He acts like one of the guys. Like I said, when I met him, and you think you're gonna meet somebody, and I mean, I work in the field where I'm in rich people's houses, and people with money a lot of times, or they treat you like they're better than you and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure we all know that, but these guys, they just act like me and you. Yeah. That's what I really love that. About them, and that just goes to show you what type of people they are. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And coming on, you're an up and comer. He probably knew you were up and coming, and he just wanted to give you a little bit of a jolt, which I'm sure you did. And you got some good questions in too. You asked some good questions.
Got some good questions in there. I appreciate that, man. And I had a couple other questions for you too, so I don't want to end the show without asking you a few other questions.
Sure,
I was asking you about the gaming journalism. We kind of got cut off for a very, very good reason. So sorry, audience, that we didn't get a chance to finish the topic that we originally started. But back to the gaming journalism. You were talking about your stance on gaming journalism as it is now.
I do think it's a rather click-based. I do think that there is a lot of let's shit on Xbox to get hits, because PlayStation 4 fans are they're a competitive bunch, and they want they're gonna come and they're gonna flock the article, so they are obviously getting the hits on doing it, so they know that, and it's and certain things that go on are unfair, and I do think that the root of everything, and I've always said this since the start of the generation, even before, is NeoGAF is it's a pro Sony site. There is absolutely no denying it. Okay, I was talking yesterday to a prominent Xbox poster, that I'm friends with, and I'm like, I was like, you have to be on eggshells. You have to worry about what you say, because, unfortunately, being an Xbox fan there, you don't last long, or you have to adhere to, PlayStation 4 is the best, Xbox, it's not 1080p. They pushed a lot of hate and a lot of this bullshit, and the media picked up on it, and now we're here and there. I mean, you talk about games, they're talking about the resolution, and what a big deal it is, but meanwhile, they're playing the game in beta and they have no idea if it's 1080p or 900. So, we've gotten a little bit off base. I do think that there is definitely a little bit of a bias going on. I don't think it's maybe a strong bias like some people think, but I do think that there is, let's shit on Xbox, let's put up an article, that puts it down, that type of stuff. Which to me is it's kind of unfortunate, but I don't like to complain about things. I just deal with it, you know what I mean, and I put my own stuff on Twitter, but there is definitely they like to love Sony, and they definitely love to hate Microsoft. If something comes up negative for Microsoft, they're all over it. If there's something comes up negative for Sony, they always have these little answers or these little things. I mean, we've talked. We've
talked about that. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, not to even cut you off. I mean, I think, like you said earlier, it's a slanted playing field, and what I always like, what you want to like. I have no problem if you want to, root for PlayStation or Nintendo or PC, whatever the case may be. I have no issues with that. It's the consistency that I have a problem with, the consistency with reviews, the consistency with the way the news is actually being reported. Because to be honest with you, if the same thing was going on for PlayStation or Nintendo, I'd be looking at those articles and reviews and looking at them the exact same way. Like, this is a little off. You know what I mean? Like, this is not necessarily right. So the fact that it's, I guess, more slanted towards Xbox is kind of telling. Don't exactly know why, what would happen with this generation and why it's kind of been that way. But it is what it is. And like you said, you just kind of move forward. I mean, we can't complain. If you're an Xbox fan, at the end of the day, you just heard what Aaron Greenberg said. I mean, they're dumping money into first-party studios. We got a great console. With people like that backing it up, we can't lose. We can't lose with people like that running the company, him and Phil and Co. And just, we can't. There's no way we can lose. There's no way we can have. You just got to be excited for the future. We got a lot of things in the pipeline, and I'm just happy. I'm just happy to be a gamer. I'm happy to be on an Xbox platform. It's my preferable platform, and I'm for the foreseeable future, I'm not going anywhere. So I definitely, piggyback off of what you said though, Tim. There is a little bit of a bias, I guess you can say, but at the end of the day, we got a lot of great stuff coming on this platform. That's what I'm excited about,
Well, I think it's going to come to a thing where they're going to be forced to say, wow. I mean, you look at the games, and he said it great. He says they're putting the games first and foremost, and they're looking for that to sell their system, which was a great answer by him. But I'm going to give you a list right now that I posted on Twitter of the games that pretty much are scheduled for 2016 from now. And it's Forza 6, Halo 5, ReCore, Killer Instinct Season 3, Scalebound, Sea of Thieves, Halo Wars 2, Quantum Break, Forza Horizon 3, Gears 4, Crackdown, Fable Legends, Gigantic, and Cuphead. Now, that's what we're going to be in the next about 15 months.
Mm-hmm.
That is an insane amount of huge games that really it can't be denied. Yeah. And that's what I'm hoping that I just want the Xbox to get a fair shake, and I do think it's gotten a little bit better. I do think that NeoGAF is a very bad thing for gaming. It doesn't help gaming. It hurts it. It pushes an agenda against Xbox, and it definitely filters out to the media. But that's I think what Xbox fans want. They just want a fair shake.
Yeah.
We know the system specs. If the game's going to be 900p, 1080p, it is a bullet point for PlayStation 4. But you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't have to be all about that. You know what I mean? It could be about the game, and I'm hoping we can get to that point. But unfortunately, we haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to that point, but I see it coming around the corner. Like you said, I mean, just from the progress Xbox has made from, I don't know if I'm pretty sure you remember that 2013 reveal and the fallout after that. I mean, they literally spent, the next 8 to 9 months trying to dig themselves out of a proverbial hole, with the media and public perception, and they really haven't gotten all the way out. I guess you can say they've done everything that they possibly can, provided us with games, content, everything that we've asked for. There's some people that still hold on to those old things, but I've long gone I didn't have a problem with them in the first place, to be honest with you. I never had a problem with DRM. Yeah. Who buys a console nowadays that doesn't actually play online? That's like buying one of those old Nokia brick phones. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like, you have this nice smartphone. Why would you? You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make any sense. So, and with the all different features, the issue that people had with, they were saying TV after a reveal. I didn't have a problem with that either. I have a cell phone. My cell phone doesn't just make phone calls. So, come on now. We live in a day and age where, there's all-in-one, everything does everything. I mean, I went to Best Buy, there's a TV with a refrigerator. I mean, there's a refrigerator with a TV in it. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see those types of things, you're like, really, you're complaining about, an added feature, which is going to benefit somebody. It may not benefit you, but it'll benefit somebody, so, it was a lot of that going on, but they've done a great job. And I mean, that's what they've done so far is fantastic.
They've recovered, and it's still people bring it up, but they've recovered and they've moved on. They listened. I was at E3 and I talk to a lot of people who work at Microsoft. They are told to be humble now. They learned a lesson, and I just think people should move on. This is a company that just wants to innovate. They want to give people gaming, and they're a great company. They're good for gaming. That's the bottom line.
Definitely. And so I want to make sure I ask you just another question. We got a few more here before we wrap it up. So what's your most anticipated game? In that list of games you just gave me, that awesome list, what's your most anticipated game you got coming up here, Tim?
I said this when Aaron was on, and I hate to say it, but Halo 5 has always been my biggest, most anticipated game. It's my favorite franchise. Halo 2 is probably my favorite game I ever played in. My ever played. I'm a huge fan, but the tech portion of me is just really anticipating Crackdown 3 because of the cloud. It's going to either be make or break. I just know that they're going to hit it, but it's Halo 5 and Crackdown 3. If I had a gun to the head and choose, I guess it would be Halo 5 by a hair. But but Crackdown 3 is really coming up, and I love Quantum Break too. But just for what Crackdown 3, what it's trying to do is like when you asked me, when we used to play games like what we were all talking about in television and Atari, those games were so simple. We saw the progression. Okay, when the 360, when the 360 from the PS2 to the 360 was a big jump. Okay. Mm-hmm. From the 360, PS3 to the Xbox One, PS4, it's not really the jump that I would say that we wanted. We want more, and I think that Crackdown 3 and the technology is something that can get us there. Definitely. I mean, like I said, so Halo 5 I'm going to go with by a hair, but I'm so pumped up about the lineup, and Quantum Break 2 is. To me, it's the best looking game. I was getting to a fight with. I'm fighting with guys, and I'm telling them, and it's the truth of the matter is that Uncharted 4 looks amazing. Okay?
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful looking game.
It has more things going on. It is a bigger scale. So, if you consider all that, with Quantum Break, you can understand why it's a new engine, okay, which is cutting edge, and it's also a little bit more closed, so you can get a little more fidelity in it. And to me, let me ask you, what do you think looks better, Quantum Break or Uncharted 4?
Oh, it's just tough
one. To me, it's Quantum Break.
I think Quantum Break by a smidgen. The reason being for me is just like you said, the fidelity. Just look at the effects, particle effects, the time manipulation effects, the shadows, the lighting is like second to none in any game I've ever seen. You got that much stuff going on screen that's happening in real time. Literally rewind, stop, things moving, things freezing, other parts of the screen still moving. It's explosions going, then freezing mid-explosion, then rewinding back to originally what it's crazy. I've never seen a video game have that much. It's crazy. Yeah,
with that warping thing when he warps it and it like puts that cloud thing.
That cloud, yeah.
It's just honestly, it's just a very impressive visually game. Now I'll give Uncharted 4 a little props that it does have more stuff going on. Like when you watch that Jeep scene and you see the things that you're like, holy shit. So that's using a lot of GPU technology, which listen, Uncharted and Naughty Dog, they're probably the best developer going. I'll give them that. But they are, it is what it is. If they brought out a new engine, I think you really would probably get 1080p 60 frames per second and probably that, which they were gunning for. Do
you know if Uncharted's running on 60 frames or it's 30?
No, it is 30. They
30?
They gunned for 60, but they couldn't hit it.
Okay.
It's a lock 30. But, I think if they had a new engine, they might have been able to do it. Okay. Because, they're talking like Quantum Break is going to be 1080p too. How the hell do you talk about it being underpowered? That just shows you the quality of the developer, the type of engine that they're using and how new it is and that type of stuff, how state of the art it is. So
Definitely.
a lot of the people who said 720 box and go into all that stuff, they look dumb now. I mean, you look at that game and you're just like, are you kidding me?
Wow. Yeah, it blows your head. I mean, I always looked at it this way. When everybody, brought up resolution, or when it was this huge topic, it still kind of is, but I think it's kind of fallen to the wayside a little bit. It's not as prevalent as it was before. But when that was always brought up, my statement would always be, not every developer is created equal. Not all of them have access to the same resources, the same technology. So when you get a first-party studio like Remedy that gets a hand on that kind of technology that are able to do what they've done, I mean, if you go back and look at Alan Wake, that game was gorgeous for the three. I mean, it was an amazing looking game, and it was on the 360. And I mean, what they did with the technology that they have is not the same that Konami's going to be able to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
It doesn't work that way. Not everybody has the same access to the same technology, or, just to be blunt about it, doesn't have the same talent to use the tools that they have.
100%, yes. And listen, if Naughty Dog came over to Xbox, I always said this, if Naughty Dog came over to Xbox and made an exclusive game for Xbox, guess what? That game is probably going to be on the top 2 best-looking games on either system. Definitely. You said brilliantly, and it's the truth, not all devs are created equal, and that's the truth. You just have some people that can do things that others can't, and they put it on the screen. And that is the biggest denominator. I mean, yeah, the PS4 is a little stronger, but when you come down to it, it's not big of a difference when you have these type of developers. I mean, Remedy just blows a hole through all the arguments about how weak the Xbox is.
Definitely, man. So I got maybe 2 more questions.
So you can ask me 20. I'm usually on BGS 2.
I know.
We got Aaron on the show. I hope we get a lot of hits for that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I just, first of all, I want to say once again, I appreciate just you coming on, and then that huge surprise with Aaron, Chris, correct, or Mr. Money, I should say,
Mr. Money,
Mr. Money showing up, and that was a huge surprise, and I appreciate that. I know if you're listening, Aaron, if you're listening, Money, I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. You also too, Tim. This is huge for me. In particular, just never would have thought, I'd be doing something like this. To be honest, I'm always a humble guy when things happen to me. I always try to be respectful and humble about things. So I appreciate that so much from the bottom of my heart. By the way, so my last 2 questions I have here for you, in particular, Tim. Now, we were talking about the technology and everything moving forward. We're talking about cloud computing and how that's going to change the way games are being made. And Aaron kind of went over that, how that's going to change. It's going to be something that we look back and say, wow, that's a turning point in video game, in the video game industry. Now, I know we can't see too far into the future, but what do you see the cloud computing doing for other platforms? Do you think maybe Nintendo or even Sony are going to be able to take advantage or utilize that technology?
Here's the problem, and he also referenced Azure. From what I understand, Microsoft has built the tech from the API to building into the API, and obviously building it through the servers. So if Sony wanted to do something, Nintendo, I doubt it, but if Sony wanted to do something, they would have to actually duplicate what Microsoft is doing. And I had talked to Phil, because I had DM'd Phil, and I said, this is something that, you can differentiate your product and this and that. And he says, the truth of the matter is that Sony's probably going to see cloud compute in third-party games. So what that means to me is that they're going to, or if a developer wants to make a game, it is possible that Sony can actually use cloud compute, but they would have to come onto our network or Xbox's network. Mm-hmm. So to me, is that going to happen? Will Sony allow that? Maybe not. But I do think that it's going to come, when Crackdown 3 hits and people actually see it and they're using it, gamers are going to want more. So
I think it's going to become a standard. I really do.
It's going to become a standard. I say we're 10 years out.
It's going to become a standard. Yeah.
But Sony Sony has to Do something, because you know what, they're putting their eggs in the VR basket, which is, and they're putting it on a closed platform too. To me, that is not, your money. That's why when I fight with these fanboys and stuff like that, you look at the landscape. Xbox is pushing first party games
Definitely.
and cloud compute. Sony's pushing some first party games, a lot of indie games that also will probably come to Xbox too, most likely, like everything else, and VR.
Mm-hmm.
Their money is going to Morpheus. There's going to be games that developers that would have been making games for PlayStation for traditional gaming are now making it for VR. I don't think VR is where it is that it can. I think it'll be good enough to get another iteration. Oh, I don't know the landscape for Sony. It kind of worries me that we're going to be held back a little. And I know Sony fans won't like that, but that's the truth of the matter. We might be held back because, are they going to want a GTA 6 on Microsoft's network the way Sony is? Because it would have to be on Azure, from what I understand.
Yeah, it would.
Or are they gonna outsource to Amazon, build it to communicate with the game? The fact of the matter is I don't see Sony doing that. So I think once Crackdown 3 hits, that's a start of this all. And then where it goes, I think Microsoft is going to be at the forefront. And then by that time, maybe the technology is a little more learned and it's easier to produce.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean,
right now, I just see Microsoft.
Same here. I mean, pushing innovation. Just pretty much in a nutshell, if you own an Xbox One, you're on a great platform, and you shouldn't be worried about anything in the near future, because you got a lot of great things going for the platform. So I kind of want to wrap it up there. My wife came in here. She's like, "Oh, we got to go somewhere," so I got to wrap it up, guys. Unfortunately.
And I'll come on whenever you. Like I said, I'm here for you. Like I said, before I went on any of these shows, I told Darnay. I said, "Is that how you say your name, Darnay?"
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. I said, Darnay. I says, let's get a show on. I really like the way you talk on Twitter. You make a lot of points. You're not too fanboyish. You're not like crazy. I says, and you were like, yeah, maybe I'll do it. And then I was just like,
I remember that.
and I was just like, this guy's never doing it. But I'm really happy that you did it. And look where you got. You already got a big interview. I mean, and you asked very good questions too, by the way.
I appreciate
those weren't easy questions, but I'm glad you got them in.
Yeah, definitely. I just wanted to make sure, I had a couple people asking me, hitting my phone. My phone literally just blew up as soon as Aaron came on, and I had a bunch of people asking me questions and saying, ask him this. There were certain things I didn't want to ask him because, I know, he can't answer certain things, and I don't want to be rude and push the issue,
right.
But what I could ask him, I did. So I just want to thank you also for coming on, and everybody that, that's out. We got 18 viewers, which is great for my very first live video. It's fantastic. Appreciate everybody showing up and coming out. Anything you want to say before we close everything down, Tim?
Just subscribe and keep listening to Darnay. He's excellent. And I'll be back.
All right, everybody. I mean, thank you guys for coming out. BLAM out. Next video will be up maybe in a couple days. Take it easy, guys. Appreciate it.
Boom.